Yeah. Right, there was a few people at the last talk, and I got a few emails through, and what they wanted me to talk about was the ego right mind. Everybody knows the ego right mind, yeah? Okay, so we're just going to go through that, and because the ego right mind is basically the most devious and deceptive and subtle part of the ego thought system. True forgiveness occurs when you choose to be right-minded. Being right-minded means being non-judgmental, and true forgiveness cannot occur in the ego wrong mind where judgment is right. So the ego never wants you to become right-minded. So it sets up a false right mind, or what I call the ego right mind, to deceive you into believing that you're right-minded. Okay? So nearly everybody that started out on A Course in Miracles, everybody fell into this trap. To such an extent that after A Course in Miracles, the first edition, was published in 1975, that Jesus had to go back to Helen and give in what's called the Supplements, okay, the Song of Prayer, because everybody kept falling into the ego right mind. And it's a part of the course, and I've said this before, that people, if you're going to do A Course in Miracles, it's the part that I would do first, because it'll save you a lot of time and effort, going through the course. And I know one person who had the book for 10 years, and they never looked at it. All they kept doing was doing the text, the manual, the workbook, and all of this, but never went to supplements because they never seen them as that important. But they were that important that Jesus had to add them into the third edition. Okay? So, a big part of the ego right mind is forgiveness, okay, and prayer, and that's what we're going to talk about now. So, forgiveness to destroy takes many different forms, and they're all designed to fool you and trap you into believing that you're doing God's will through true forgiveness. Forgiveness to destroy has a very true purpose, which is to keep you sinful, guilty, fearful, and separate from God's love. Okay? You may think that you're using your true decision maker, okay? But again, this is an illusion. This is the unconscious mind here. Okay? You're not making any decisions. This is the illusion of choice. The ego is the decision making here. Okay? This is level 1. It's not until you get to level 2 that you start to waken up the decision maker. Alright? So there's 4 major ways the ego uses false forgiveness to fool you. And they all end in the same result, which is more pain, more suffering, and more guilt. Okay? So let's look now at the 4 forms of false forgiveness. And the first one is, and you'll find these in most of the religions, if not all the religions of the world. Alright? So the first one is forgiveness by condemnation. Okay? And just have a think of these yourselves. Are you still using them today, or have you used them in the past? Okay? So the first and most obvious can be found in the religions of this world. This is where you, as a good Christian and a much better person, okay, forgive the guilty sinners of the world. This form of forgiveness gives you, as an ego, the feelings of being godly, being gracious, by being innocent, by forgiving someone who is guilty and sinful. Immediately, you can see how you and the person that you are forgiving have become different and separate. Okay? This is not uniting with another. This is reinforcing separation by seeing differences. By using this form of forgiveness, you are condemning yourself, because how you see someone else is how you see yourself. You cannot see sin in someone else and escape the sin and guilt in yourself. Once you see sin in anyone, you cannot forgive it. You make it real for both. Okay, and the Course tells us you cannot look on sin and forgive it. Okay? So have we all used this form of forgiveness? Is there anybody still using it? Okay, all right. Let's move to the second one. This is called forgiveness by the sinner. Okay? First one, we are innocent and we're forgiven the sinful people. This one, right, is the second form of false forgiveness, not unlike the first, is also a trap. This form takes the shape that you, as the forgiver, are no better than the person you're forgiving, believing both of you to be guilty and sinful. This can appear to be humble and charitable, to martyr yourself before God, which is again to condemn yourself. Now you believe that you both deserve the wrath and retribution of God because you both have sinned. What's wrong with that?
Believe in sin.
Yeah. You may have joined yourself with this other person, but you have separated you both from God, and now God must be seen as judgmental and vengeful, who must punish the wicked and the evil. Okay? Can you condemn yourself and still remember God? No. Okay? So you'll recognize these forms of forgiveness. And the next one. Forgiveness by the martyr. Alright? Must recognize this one, Mary. The third form of false forgiveness takes the role of martyr. You martyr yourself at another's hand. You know how we do this? And I'm pretty sure that everybody in this room in the last week, at least, may have done this. You sit in silence with a gentle smile. All the while inside you fume with anger at how this other person has hurt you. Okay? Now you could be sitting in an office and your boss might have said something to you or did something, and you're sitting there and you can't say anything or you can't do anything. I know you're smiling here, Monica. Okay? You do not show the bitter pain you feel. You feel that this is God's will, that you should suffer in silence. Have we all done this?
Yes.
Okay? But in your mind you hate the person with utter contempt. But because you're so godly, you will grin and bear it. And after all, it is God's will. Is there anybody still using this?
It's very unconscious.
But the whole point is we must make the unconscious conscious. Like Jesus says, if you don't bring forth what is hidden will destroy you. Okay? So, with saintlessness, you bear the anger and hurt another gives you. You do not show the bitter pain you feel. This is cruelty at its best. You are condemning yourself once again as a victim of another person and of this world. Okay?
Sorry, Michael, what's the answer? So, assertiveness, you say in a nice way, what, like, in the word of form.
Right?
Forgiveness by the martyr.
Yeah.
You grin and you bear and you sit quietly.
Yeah.
What's the right way? The right way? Do you say, I feel this because of this in as calm a manner as you can?
Complete forgiveness is the answer. Or AATF is forgiveness. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
These are forgiveness to destroy.
Not assertive, not engaging with.
No.
Okay.
See, this
I'm honest to that probably.
You know, if
in
you-
the
yeah.
last one,
If you're sitting and
but
you're
just to be sure.
Yeah. Again, you know, what's happening outside of you is showing you what's inside. So this person, right, you know, is only showing you what's already inside. And now this person has brought you the gift of lilies, as the course says, because now once you feel this, you can let it go. Remember, forgiveness is about letting go of our emotions, what we feel. We can't do it intellectually. You know, when it's there, when you're feeling it, use complete forgiveness to undo that emotion. Bring it to the truth.
So then when you realise that it's inside of you, it's easier to accept, well, what are you talking about?
Well, for a start, okay, once you realize it's inside you,
Yeah,
okay, now you won't project onto this other person.
yeah.
So now you're escaping that projection coming back a couple of hours or a couple of days or a couple of weeks
Yeah.
later, coming back to you. And you have undone the judgment, you've undone projection, you're undone beliefs. So you're doing, you know, by complete forgiveness, you're undoing the whole package.
So we're taking it back in.
Yeah. Responsibility.
Then I have to forgive myself.
Well, that is forgiving yourself.
Right.
When you claim responsibility, this is mine. No matter what this person has said or done, I'm hurt. This is coming from my own ego identification.
So when you feel the hurt coming in, it's always inside in you.
Yes, always. Always. And then the last, there's actually 5 in this, but there's 4 that we're going to talk about here before we get on to the 5th. And I'm pretty sure that everybody in the room uses this one. Forgiveness by bargaining. Okay? The 4th form of forgiveness, to destroy, takes the form of bargaining and compromise. I will forgive you if you meet my needs. In other words, blackmail. You enslave this other person, for in their slavery is your release. Do this to anyone, and it is you that is enslaving yourself. True forgiveness gives, as God gives, with no recompense. You can only truly give as God gives. All else is a mockery and an illusionary giving. Steal someone else's innocence and you condemn yourself to death. What this is really talking about is, and I'm sure with all these, I'll forgive you if you don't do it again. Alright? That's a form of bargaining and compromise. It means I've been hurt. And what it really plain is this other person. Please don't hurt me again. What you're really saying is this other person has hurt you. Okay? And that's not forgiveness. Okay? Because what you're really saying is, right, this person has hurt me. You know, you've looked on sin, and you've seen this person has hurt you, and this is sinful. Okay? So then the 5th form of forgiveness, destroy. Can anybody tell me?
Forgiveness to destroy.
It's not in the Song of Prayer, this one. It's basically when people start doing the Course of Miracles.
By ignoring it, when we see it outside and we bring it in.
Judgment.
Deny?
Seeing someone else and say, oh, that's only that person's ego. That's their ego. You know, seeing someone doing something that's not very nice or saying something nice, all right? You'll look on Facebook, look on the internet, and you'll see how many people are chatting about everybody else's ego. You've often heard me saying this, there's only one ego, and if you spot it, you got it. So a form of forgiveness to destroy is now what we do is we see someone saying or doing something that's not very nice, and we rationalize it and we say, oh, that's only their ego. Ah, they're all right. You know? That's not forgiveness.
So again, we have to realize, no, that's our ego.
What Jesus says in the Course is you cannot look on sin and forgive it. So if we see somebody else's ego, we're saying that person's separate from us. It's their ego, it's not my ego. So we've separated ourselves from that person. Now we're rationalizing their behavior or what they've said or not said, and we're saying, right, it's all down to their ego. Okay? So it's another form of separation. It's another form of denial, rationalization. They all come into play. Yeah? So, has everybody done this when we started the Course of Miracles? Has everybody seen somebody else's ego?
Yeah.
There is nobody else's ego. Okay? So that's forgiveness to destroy.
Sorry, Mike, what does GM stand for there?
The decision maker, which is you. Okay? But on this level 1, okay, you're not even making the decisions here. You think you're making the decisions. It's like everybody in the world that's unconscious, they all believe they're choosing this or they're choosing this, and you know, they're choosing this religion or they're doing this and they're doing that. They don't. No one's got a choice here.
So would you call that the unconscious decision?
Of course it is. It is. That's when you are unconscious. Everybody in the world that is unconscious and asleep, they only have the illusion of choice. They either choose the ego wrong mind or the ego right mind. It doesn't matter which they choose, and the ego doesn't really care which you choose, because you're still choosing the ego, no matter which one you choose. Yeah? Any other questions on that?
So are these fellas here, 5, are they the ego wrong mind or right mind?
Ego right mind. The ego wrong mind won't forgive. The ego wrong mind
Oh,
will
yeah.
hold grievances, will hold the hate. You know, it's like what you were saying about your friend, you know, that you and I can, you know, and now you're going to say, right, that's the last time I'm going to do that to her, and she doesn't care about me. So you hold that little grievance, you know, and all you're doing now is moving into the ego wrong mind. Okay? So the next
Sorry,
one,
Michael, ego, wrong mind would be all unforgiveness.
it would, just hate, murder,
Not
just, yeah, you
At
know,
least on the right-hand side there, you think you're being good. or
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. So look, on a percentage basis, to give you an idea, all right, you probably have about 97% of the world will be in the ego
So,
realm.
97%.
Yeah. And you would have about 2.5% in the ego wrong mind. And that's what's happening with all the murder, death, you know, the Islamic State, you know, and all the Middle East and all these wars and everything with all that hatred, murder, butchery and everything's going on, like, you know, so it's a very small proportion, but, you know,
So the 0.5% is us.
the 0.5%. That's been a bit generous too, I think, like, you know.
How about do the maths?
Good maths. All right. Next one then. All right, we have forgiveness to destroy. Okay, we'll start off there. And then the second one of the ego wrong mind. Prayer to destroy.
Oh, dear.
Being Halloween, you know.
Okay. Anybody want to give me an example of prayer to destroy?
Cursing's the one, is it?
Huh?
Cursing.
Prayer?
Oh.
Take away something.
Pray for somebody who thinks you're doing something wrong.
But they get to just be sorry to go to hell.
Yeah.
Right, hold on a second. Let's look at this here. Right? How many have used prayed for the sinners?
That's a song.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's a song.
Lyrical.
Is it? Yeah. You see, this is a lot like forgiveness too. We forgive the sinners.
And pray to God to
Now,
forgive.
you pray for the sinners. So you can see the same dynamic going on. You're separating yourself from this other person. You're saying sin is real. You're saying the sin is in them. You're saying I'm innocent. Okay? And you're offering this up to God. Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the next one? Prayer for what?
Condemnation.
For justice. For like your perceived like your justice.
Pray for the
Hungry.
The sick.
pray for the sick. Pray for the hungry.
It's all separation, me and them.
Yeah. You know, you're saying that these people are separate. Pray for the
Lonely.
dead. Who said lonely?
Is that not what it's like, the dead and lonely? No.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, are you praying for other people's loneliness or yourself?
Just generally. I don't know.
Right. I never would
They
come
go
up with.
together, do they not?
Huh?
Do they not go together, same, sick, dead,
It's a
lonely?
Catholic thing.
Possibly.
Probably. So you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you look at this, right? You can see what's happening in all of this, all right? That it looks good. You know, it looks being really godly, it looks being really gracious and all of this here, but the same dynamic is going on that was going on with forgiveness. Okay? So, prayer to destroy. Okay? The next one in the ego right mind. Special love. Okay? And this is where we have special people in our lives. We have special members of our family. We have a special person who's our partner, or we have all special children. We have special teachers. We have special teachers of A Course in Miracles. Okay? Even Jesus comes into this, where we put him up on a pedestal. What's wrong with that?
Separation.
Separation. And that's one of the things that the church has really done above everything else that made Jesus out to be totally different from us. You know? And this is why he's up on a pedestal. And some people put him up in this is why he asks us to forgive him, you know. It's because this is what, you know, the church has done with all of this. So again, this is all ego right-mindedness. So every person that you have in your life that you have this special attachment to, could be your children, your parents, whatever, is coming from your ego right mind. You're still attached to your ego right mind. So if you're not feeling the bliss of life and all of this, so now you know why. Yeah? The next one. The unhealed healer. What's wrong with that? Why is the unhealed or her?
Because he doesn't see himself in the patient.
Yeah. He's seeing the patient separate. He's saying, I can fix you. Okay?
The same as the other ones, me and you.
Yes, exactly. But also, you know, in the therapy, and we'll be doing this in the teacher's course, like, that the therapist doesn't do anything. Okay? That it comes through you. Healing is always done through you, not by you. The unhealed healer is really seeking specialness, uniqueness, individuality, and separation by saying, I have the tools, I can help you. Okay? So, you know, with a healed healer is someone who knows, right, that all healing is done through you, not by you. Yeah? The next one. False empathy. Okay? And we know what false empathy is. Alright? And this is where we join now someone in sickness. How do we do that? Exactly. Pity. Alright, we have pity for this person. And if you look at this, this is, you know, and forgiveness to destroy, where we join with the sinners. Alright, we're joining someone now in sickness, and we're saying sickness is real, death is real. Okay? True empathy is when you see beyond the body and look at the person of who they truly are. Okay? That's healing. What's not healing is seeing the person and seeing their sickly body and having pity for them, having sympathy for them. Okay? Just walk into any hospital, or the next time you're in a hospital, and walk around, just see your natural reaction, how you look on certain people. You know, because this is not, you know, we're all born into the ego thought system, and this is how the ego looks at everybody. Because the ego is always determined to show you that sickness and death is real. And by you then, with false empathy, it reinforces that within you. And once you look at someone with false empathy, fear will automatically come up inside you, because you're testifying now that you're separate. You're agreeing and you're reinforcing the belief in separation. Yeah?
How does a parent with a very sick child cope with that?
Same thing. Exactly. You do everything you normally do. It's only your thinking that changes. You know, if you need to go and get them tablets, you need to take them to the doctor, you do all of the above. But you just see now the truth behind them, that they're not a body, that they're an eternal spirit that can never die. They're here to have their own experiences. You reinforce their identity in yourself, which reinforces it into them. That's healing. Yeah? Sixth one. Salvation. What's wrong with that?
Separation, again, you think you can be saved. There's something to be saved from.
Keep going. What's that? What's the ego's idea of salvation?
He's outside, it's not over.
Huh?
Power, money,
Separate.
looks, success.
Judgment.
Something outside I can say.
No.
Specialness.
No.
That you've been lost, belief that you've been lost, isn't it?
Yeah. That's not it.
But you can
Death.
become a god of your own universe.
What we did?
Isn't that what it means?
No.
But you don't really need something.
Let's look at it from the church's perspective.
Immortality
Yeah.
or something.
Why are we here?
It's a promise to
To learn.
Well,
we were
because
banished from
of original sin.
We're here to...
Wake up.
No, I'm chatting from the ego's point of view.
Save ourselves.
We're here because we were thrown out of the Garden of Paradise.
And God condemned us to a life of
Suffering.
suffering,
Earning
salvation.
our bread by the sweat of our brows. That's what he said. My God, is he fucking right.
We'll have to put a few bleeps on this video, okay? You're becoming an internet sensation, Mary. Okay? Salvation through
I
suffering.
got to say you, Michael.
Okay, you know the flatulence, you know, like the priests used to do.
Flatulence?
Or what is it called? What do you-
Oh, flatulation.
Flagellation. Okay, that's where we punish ourselves, all right, to such an extent that what we're trying to do is for us to atone. Okay, the ego's idea of atonement is that we suffer to a certain extent, or to an extent where God looks down upon us and says, right, okay, you've suffered enough now, you can come back to me. Okay, but the ego's ploy behind that is your suffering keeps you separate from God. If there's pain, there's no
gain.
If there's pain, there's no God.
What
No,
about
he has
suff-
no
what
knowledge
about
of
this
it.
offering it up? You know, you take your suffering and you offer it up for.
So it's important.
No, no. If there's pain, there's no God. If there's God, there's no pain. Okay, so anytime that you're in pain, you've chosen the pain and you're using the pain to keep you separate. Okay, that's a very important line in the course. If there's pain, there can't be any God, there's no love. That's what it's talking about. Okay, and if there's love, it's impossible that you can feel any pain whatsoever. Okay? So those would be all ego right mind. And then, what we did in the last month's tools about the toolbox of the ego, alright? I won't go into them now again because they're in that. It's basically Freud, okay? Where we're in the ego right mind and we're feeling all of this tension. And that's another thing too, that, you know, if you're truly right-minded, you will be at peace. It's the first thing that'll hit you. I'm at peace, I'm content with myself. Alright? If you're in the ego right mind, and you believe you're in the true right mind, and you're feeling this tension, anxiety, depression, whatever, that alone should tell you, I'm not in my right mind. I'm in the ego's right mind.
Sorry, Mike, is ego right mind level 2 that we talked about?
That would be, yeah.
That's level 2.
Well, that's also level 1.
Okay,
Okay? But we'll be doing more of that in the teacher's course.
okay.
Alright? Because what happens is, I have the diagram with me today.
Both of those are level 1.
Yeah, but you see, once you make it, here the ego is the decision maker. Alright, just let me do it real quickly. Right, just say these 3 levels, right? So this is level 1, and this would be the ego right mind, and this is the ego wrong mind. Okay? And this is the ego decision maker. Yeah?
Yes.
So you're not really making any decisions. What brings you up now to level 2, right, is you always have a choice in the first 2 levels. Alright? So this would be level 1, level 2, and level 3. So in this one, now you are awakening up. Every time that you make a choice between truth, this is the true right mind, and this is the ego right mind. Okay? So every time now, on this level, you're beginning to waken up. And the whole point about A Course in Miracles is, right, is to empower you. And the way that it's going to empower you is to waken up the decision maker. So every time now that you choose forgiveness, not forgiveness to destroy, you choose true forgiveness, you come up to this level. You're up onto level 2. Okay? And now you, remember here, the decision maker, you're asleep and the ego's making all your decisions. Up here, you're beginning to waken up. Every single time you make a choice for truth, for the Holy Spirit, for God, for love, you're waking up. Okay? So you still have a choice though. And you have the choice between the true right mind and the ego right mind. That's the 2 choices you have. But when you choose the ego right mind, you go back to here. Okay? But when you choose your true right mind, you go back up to here. So there's a lot of vacillation that goes on until you become right-minded. And then at this one up here, the Course describes it as the one mind. This basically is without judgment. Okay? Because there's judgment on these both to these two levels. Yeah? So, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So, come back to this, right? So we're ego right-minded, all right, and we're feeling this tension, this anxiety, and all of this. Okay. So we want to do something about it. We don't want to go and kill someone, even though I love you, Mary. Okay. All right. So what do? We want to be respectable. We don't want to really hurt anybody, but we have all of this tension, this hurt, this pain inside us. So being kind of, even though we're ego right-minded, we do something about it. Okay? So what we do, and this is where Freud came in, what we were talking about, the ego's toolbox to deal with this is these number of tools. Sublimation. All right. Anybody tell me what that is?
That's suppressing your replacing with something else.
Remember we did this the last time.
Into a more socially acceptable, channel your anger into a more socially acceptable
Good girl.
form.
Somebody's doing their work here.
Last night, I finally got round to it.
Yeah, you got it, man. That's exactly it. You want to be godly, you want to be good, you want to do the right thing and everything, all right? You might be unconscious, okay? These are natural. So what you do now is you channel, basically converting, this anxiety, this depression and everything into dealing with this. And sublimation is the way they do that, all right?
Can you give an example of it? Would it be like a miles for punishment or something?
Boxing instead.
Anybody watch the late on Saturday night?
Last
The late.
Last night.
Did you see you
Yeah.
No, I did on
Right.
Friday night.
Did you see what Bono said? How the two things that comes up with grief. He says first,
Rage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable rage, he says, come on. And what did you do with that rage then?
He transformed it into music.
Music. Sublimation. That's exactly what it is. And you'll see all musical artists, all those type of people, that's what they're doing with it all. They're sublimating it all into arts, into music,
Sports,
and you can do it through sports, you can do it, you can channel all of that energy into that. Yeah? Does that answer your question? Yeah? Because when I was sitting watching it, that's the first thing that came into my mind, The next one then that the ego uses to keep you right-minded, but it'll make you believe that you're being godly or being a good person. Alright? Anybody tell me what displacement is?
Kicking the cat, pushing the anger where you can get away with it.
And why are you going to do that? Why would you kick the cat?
You're projecting it out, you're saying it's not mine.
Yeah. You'll always displace it onto a less threatening. Yeah? So if you want to kick your boss, you're not going to kick your boss, you go home and kick the wife. If the wife's the boss, you won't kick her, you'll go and kick the cat. Or you'll kick the dog, and then the dog will bite the cat. That's the way it works. But you can see now how, this works being right-minded, okay? Or being ego right-minded. It gives you the illusion that you're, again, being good and all of that. The next one then is repression. Again, you're ego right-minded, okay? And you have these thoughts. And the reason you have these thoughts if you want to kill someone, alright, is because you're still in the ego thought system here, you're unconscious. You're always going to have these thoughts. All the thoughts that's in the ego's wrong mind, you're going to have these same thoughts in the ego right mind. Because they're both the same. They're both the exact same. And a person was saying to me, back a couple of months ago, that, I'm right-minded, but I have all these bloody thoughts. and I can't deal with these thoughts. And they told me the thoughts, and I said, do you really believe that you're right-minded? And they did really believe they were right-minded. They fell into the trap of being in the ego right mind. When you're in the true right mind, you're only going to have thoughts of peace, love, compassion, sharing, giving, all of that. You know, remember what we did in the spiritual laws was the choices you make
Determining the thoughts that you think.
create the thoughts. So when you choose either the ego wrong mind or the ego right mind, you're creating all those thoughts of fear, guilt, all of those. This is what you're choosing. When you choose true forgiveness, when you choose complete forgiveness or true love or all of these things, then you're in this thought system. And now there's a new set of thoughts you're going to have. So your thoughts will tell you exactly where you're at. Okay, so what we do is we repress these thoughts. And this is what we did with the whole separation. We repressed it. We buried it into the bank. We buried it into the unconscious mind. The next one is denial. And these are all forms of denial. Okay? And what you deny, you will project. Okay? So you can, again, you have all of these thoughts and you just push them out of awareness. Okay? And then we know this one very well at this stage. Rationalization. And this is now where we're basically, again, having these thoughts, but we're rationalizing. We're making up a story and we believe the story. Okay? So it's kind of like, you know, someone, what was your story, Sheila? What were you talking about, the director? You were saying you were rationalizing? Oh, aye, that's right. Sheila was talking about she gets really annoyed every time when somebody's eating. You know, very noisy eating and all of this. Like, Sheila was saying, why is it that people eat this way? You know, she was rationalizing her annoyance that it was because of the way these people ate. It's nothing to do with the way people eat. It's inside. The annoyance, the irritations are inside all the time. So as long as you keep rationalizing that, that's going to keep annoying you. Because what you rationalize stays with you. Yeah. And then the last one here. I don't know if this is spelled right or not. Intellectualization. And we all know this one. Does anybody want to enlighten me?
The level of the head instead of the level of the heart.
Yeah. Well, basically what it really is about is even people who are doing, someone has they get a form of cancer. Well, they're going to learn everything about the cancer, you know, to deal with actually looking at the cancer from a different point of view. They'll learn everything they can about it. People who are doing a Course in Miracles, they'll learn everything about the Course. But they'll actually do know. They'll intellectualize it. Okay?
It's like a sidetrack.
Yeah, you'll learn it, they'll study it, they'll understand it, but they won't do anything with it. And that's been a big, big problem, you know, for people who are doing A Course in Miracles. They get stuck into the definitions, the meaning of this word, why use this word, why use that word, and all of those other kind of things. Just delay, it's fear, really, you know. So there's one other thing that will keep you, and this, right? No? Well, it's all built on judgment. All right? The biggest ego right mind of all. Every single time you play the victim, you're choosing the ego right mind. And you will feel victimized. Because here is the victim, and here is the victimizer. Okay? And you'll often hear Kenneth Wapnick saying the victim and the victimizer are both the same.
Sorry, Mike, when you say victimizer, you mean like bully, is it? Or
Yeah.
the person who's doing the thing?
Yeah. The person who's hurt you
Okay.
has victimized me. If it wasn't you, you've said something now and it's hurt me. You know what I mean? Like, what you're really saying is this person has victimized me. All right. What you have done, you've chosen the ego right mind, and now this other person is the victimizer. So why are both the same? Because they're both of them are the same. There's no difference. There's no difference. It's only the illusion that these two mindsets are different. They're really one. Okay? But they're the illusion. Okay? That one is right, one is wrong. Okay? Right. That's the ego right mind. Any questions on that?
Yes, please. The decision maker, one sec. It's a very quick process, like what was the one, the law of oneness, the feeling, the beliefs I have create the thoughts, I think, was it?
The choices I make.
Yeah, that's the decision maker, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
That's a split, that happens in
Yeah.
my experience of it before you even know.
Yeah, but that's because
You're
it's,
unconscious.
it's the ego making it. It's the same system.
Yes.
It's just automatic.
So as soon as you catch yourself in that, you have to come back and choose peace
Yeah.
or choose again.
Even if an event or someone says something to you, and even if it's a day, if it's 6 hours or 2 days, and you go back and look at that, you're even bringing yourself up to this level now by saying, okay, I didn't catch that then, but now I realize I made the wrong choice. You can correct that. Yeah. I said, okay, you know, I rationalize, or I displaced my guilt, or I did this, or I did that, all that. Now you can undo that whole thing. That's what time is for. It's time, as the Course tells us, is to give us time to make the right choice. One line that's in the Course more than anything else that Jesus says, choose again, brother. The reason why he's saying choose again is because by you choosing between truth and illusions is what's going to waken you up. The more that you're choosing God, the more you're choosing love, forgiveness, everything else, you waken up. And this is the key here to the whole thing, is you wakening up here.
Making choices.
The more you don't make any choices, the more you're asleep. This is where the ego is ruling your life.
So as soon as you catch yourself and say,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to choose
Yeah.
oneness and that. And there's a line in the Course about actively decided wrongly, you could just as actively have
That's
decided
right. That's the correction.
Return, your job is merely to return your mind to the place where the error was made.
That's right.
Is that the decision
Yes.
maker?
Exactly.
So just pulling yourself, like
Exactly.
1 to 8, 9 and 10 of the mind training. At
Exactly.
night time when you go back over, right, this is how I got in here.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You know, and this is going to be useful because when you know, it's all about getting up to here. You know, getting to this level. And what's going to get you up there is when you're waking up here, when you're choosing like that, when you're fully awareness. This is awareness. Okay?
So
This is
eventually
pure
you get to the stage where you stop yourself, because at the moment like I'm just starting out in that month 8, and it's a bit frustrating because I wake up in the morning, you start your day, and it's just autopilot in separation.
Yeah. What's that showing you?
That I need I need not time.
No, this is what your life has always been. Now when you're moving to the next step now, you're aware of this.
Yes.
Before you weren't aware of it.
Okay.
You know, this is one of the things about the meditations. It's showing you, the meditations will show you how much you've been asleep. They'll also show you how much resistance you have to going inside.
Yes.
It's an inside job, you know, and the only way that you're going to find the bliss, the beauty, the love, everything is inside. And that's what the whole meditations have been about this year, is to get you go through that fear barrier and get inside.
Because the 30-minute one at night when you go back over your day, it's just like, this time, it's a million times it
But
shows.
don't judge, yeah, don't judge.
Okay. just-
Even that is you now looking at all the times you, and that's what the last thing the ego wants you to do. So you keep doing that, but don't judge yourself for choosing the ego. Just look at it and say, right, I've been really asleep here. I was asleep for 4 hours there. I was asleep for 6 hours. Exactly. So it's awareness, you shining the light on that where you have been now unconscious, because you waking it up.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just say that is it not a cyclical thing rather than linear, but this going from level 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, it is.
You know, like I would have had periods, maybe 2 years ago where I was in a really clear space, and then I had to go back down
Yeah.
to that to heal all this stuff.
Yeah.
That came up again, and had a few more good months.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly.
it is cyclical.
That's it, that's it. Because what happens is we get little breaks of peace and everything, right? And we deserve that because it takes us out of here. But there is more work to do. Because you'll find, anytime you react to anything, it means you have work to do. You know, and you'll go through periods, you know, could be a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and all of a sudden then, the problem with that is a lot of people think then they've done something wrong. That's pulled me back in here, you know.
And it's worse than ever. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, things just are bringing the madness, like.
But do you know why it's worse than ever? Because now you can deal with it. You're in a place where you can deal with this. No matter how bad it gets, it never gets to the state where you can't deal with it. And the more work that you do up here, all right, it just means now you are ready for this, okay? So it's not that you're doing anything worse or you're making any more mistakes or anything. It's just that you're ready now and you have the tools and the presence and everything else to deal with this once coming up. Okay? Even the lessons, no matter what level you're on, your lessons are still there. Okay? It's just now the lessons will become bigger, but they'll become easier because you have the tools now to deal with this, you have the awareness to deal with this. And that's one thing for this year, like, you know, I had a lot of lessons this year, but I was able to deal with every one of them. I don't think I would have been in a position to deal with them 3, 4, 5 years ago. That's
It's
what-
like when the gaps get longer of peace, and
Mhm.
it's like a shock to the system then when
Yeah,
something comes up
exactly.
again.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
those-
Exactly. Just look at that and just say, now it's time for a little bit more work. Because unbelievable thinking this, like, you know, it's a massive journey to waking up. It's not an easy thing to waken up. All right. So don't be thinking. Don't allow the ego to say, listen, look at all the work you're doing, and you're getting nowhere in this. Because the ego's always trying to convince you that this doesn't work. And it has a very good cause for that, because this is the ego's, this is a death wish for the ego, like, you know. And you are so identified with your ego that, you know, you're going to feel like that it's you that's dying, you know. Right, we'll finish up now. If there's no more questions, then no. Yeah? Thank you all very much. For those who are doing the teacher